डाल में आगे मेरे कैमरे के पीछे कहाँ तेरा कैमरा कहाँ सर आइए सर पीछे 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 और पीछे मनोज 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 नमस्कार हाँ बाद में मिल गया अपन साथ में बोलना बोलना भाई ये कम क्लोज स्टार्ट हो गया ये पीछे ले कैमरा यहाँ पर लुक सेंटर
एकदम सामने रितेश सर फरहान सर
चालू का सेंटर फरहान सा सेंटर इस साइड देखा ही नहीं सर बोला ही नहीं थैंक यू सर हो गया थैंक यू सर फरहान सर Yes, on your right. Yes, on your right. Sir, center. Yes, center. Yes, center. Center. On your right here. Ma'am, center here. On your right here. On your right.
Sir, Ritesh, Farhan. I'm sure the media has a lot of questions. Okay, so this is chapter 1, which means it's a two-part epic. So I'm sure we have questions, but I'll start with Yash first. I have a question to ask. Yash, it doesn't look like a film that would have been easy while shooting, right? Especially during, the mining shots that you must have definitely shot for. How difficult was it on set to just be there around all this muck that is flying around, man?
It was very difficult. That was the most difficult part of the film because that's a processed sand, processed soil. They use cyanide to process gold, I believe. So that was a dump yard of that, and a lot of people told us it is not safe to shoot there. But still, it was very tempting for us to shoot because the location was as such. It was very nice, suitable for our film. Then we went there and we all stayed there for months together. And then for every shot, if you notice, there's a lot of dust in it. And we didn't get artificial dust. It was we used compressor and it was the same thing. So, but we were very strong and because of the conviction, I think nothing happened.
Farhan, there is a part of the underworld also, and I remember that interview where Yash mentioned that this is not just about the underworld, this is not just about, but somehow the underworld has always been a great content idea for a lot of films, right? When you were watching the trailer while everybody else was watching it, do you think the underworld is something which elicits emotion when it comes to the content of a film?
No, I mean, I really don't think of it as in that terms. I feel with every film, there's a certain USP, there's a certain draw. And in this film, like I said, the story of this one character, what he's out to achieve, is very, very strong. You get a sense of almost like a promise that this child is making his mother in the beginning of the film of what he's going to be and what he's going to do. And it really follows his journey and his path. And that is really something that drives the film. So everything else that comes with it is actually from a place which is of pure emotion and of pure love. So that to me is the driving force of the film. Everything else, I mean, of course, is a lot of fun to watch. Like you can see, there's amazing action going on. There's a lot of humor in it as well. There's that one moment where he breaks this guy's arm and then uses his arm to push his hair back. So things like that. It's got all that going on, but at the heart of it, there's a very, very strong emotional connect that this character has with this promise that he's made his mother.
All right, my friends from the media, I'm sure you have questions, so please, this is your opportunity. Shoot. There's this one lady who's just interested in clicking a picture.
सेंटर से राहुल द
Wha-
फिल्मी चचा हेलो
There.
मेरा सवाल फरहान सर से है सर साउथ की लगभग सारी फिल्में अपनी जगह ब्लॉकबस्टर होती है सर। सब में कंटेंट होते हैं, टर्न एंड ट्विस्ट होते हैं। फिर उन सारी फिल्मों में से केजीएफ को चुनना, हिंदी में डब करना, फिर रिलीज करना। तो आपने केजीएफ को ही क्यों चुना? क्या ऐसा लगा इसमें आपको?
सर एक तो मैं आपको थोड़ा क्लैरिटी दे दूं कि कभी कभी होता है कि आप स्क्रिप्ट चुनते हैं, कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि फिल्म आपको चुनती है। तो इसमें जो हुआ है, एक्चुअली जो अनिल थडानी, जो आज यहाँ, आई डोंट नो वेर ही इज, बट उन्होंने हमें कांटेक्ट किया, कहा कि ये एक फिल्म है, आप देख लीजिए, मुझे लगता है आपको पसंद आएगी, और अगर पसंद आई तो वी वुड लाइक फॉर यू टू प्रेजेंट इट। सो बोथ रितेश एंड मी सॉ some visuals from the film. We found out about the film, and it sounded like a very very exciting project to be part of. And all I can say is that we are truly happy that we are associated with this film. And this probably then is a first step. You know, hopefully through this experience, there will be more people who want to reach out to us and maybe get their films presented. And that will be based on each film as it comes and what we feel of that film. With this film, it felt like the right thing to do, and that's why we're here today.
Hi, this is Sohail here on your left. You're on the first row. Congratulations to the entire team of KGF. परंत हम आपको मिस कर रहे हैं on the screen as well as direction wise. Soon we'll see you actually. मेरा कहना था कि इन दिनों lots of production houses are looking towards south actually. जिस तरह की फिल्में मतलब है हिंदी में डब हो रही है. How do you see the entire scenario at this particular point of time?
सर आपका सवाल किसकी तरफ है?
आपकी तरफ या
फरहान की तरफ।
हाँ जी।
Yeah, you know, it's very difficult for me to comment on why other people do things they do. I just feel that at Excel for the last 17, 18 years, we've been making films that we believe in. And similarly, as an extension of that, when there is something that we can associate ourselves with, that we feel would be a pleasure to associate with, it's some entertainment that we can provide an audience or help reach an audience. That is something that we are interested in. We want to entertain people. We want to engage with people through film, and this is another opportunity to do that. I don't look at it as south, north, east, west. I don't think of it like that. Movies and storytelling, like we discussed earlier, it's changing. The demographics of audiences are changing. The way content is consumed is changing, and we are at a very interesting time. You know, where we are fortunate that we can share each other's work in each other's states or cultures or in different regions. And to be a part of that truly is a very it's an honor actually to be a part of it.
There was a question coming.
Yash,
Yes.
Yash, my question to you. Yash,
Yash here.
Hi.
yeah. Have you dubbed it in Hindi?
No, I haven't. I think I still have to work on my Hindi because just to prove that I'm a hardworking actor, if I go and dub, I don't want to ruin my film because I really love my film. But soon I'll be able to dub because I think a lot of people are, telling my Hindi is improving. So very soon I'll be there.
I agree with
So,
that.
so, do you like someone else mouthing your dialogues?
To be honest with you, no. As an actor, I would always want to dub for my own films, but I think nobody is bigger than cinema. When it comes to cinema, the cinema has to come out well. It has to do well. It has to entertain people. So if I come out and start dubbing in a bad Hindi, that will hamper the movie. So which I don't want it to happen.
Farhan, my question to you is we've been seeing you producing films and associating. When will we see you acting and directing as well? Very soon?
I'm just finishing a film with Shonali Bose called The Sky is Pink. It's almost done. So you'll see that at some point mid next year. And beyond that, we'll discuss on some other forum. Right now, we are here to talk about KGF, if that's okay.
Farhan, towards your left, in the front row. Hi.
Front row.
This is Priyanka from PTI. Farhan, I wanted to know that a lot of these South filmmakers have great vision, and the way they tell their stories, it's always on a huge canvas. Be it this, be it KGF, be it Bahubali or 2.0 as well. But when it comes to Bollywood filmmakers, I feel that we don't have that vision, and we what stops us from dreaming big or planning big? That's something I wanted to know from you.
I don't know if that's entirely true. I mean, you've taken the name of 3 films. You know, I'm sure there are many other films made in the South that we are not aware of or are smaller in terms of drama films or intimate films or personal films. These are the ones that excite people. across the country to maybe want to watch because of the visual scale, of them. And similarly, I mean, we have filmmakers. I think somebody like a Sanjay Leela Bansali, for example, is somebody who makes very, very epic visual films. So we do have filmmakers like that, but every industry and every, I guess, culture has its own strengths, and it's important to play to those strengths, and you will learn as you go along and you will evolve. But I think that's really what it is, and the ones that translate, similarly with American films, when they come here, the ones that usually end up registering are the big, kind of superhero movies or stuff like that, because it's easier for people to go and understand what's going on. It's I think that's probably it.
Hello, Yash,
Which side, sir? If you could just raise your hand.
right side.
There. Okay.
Hi, Yash. Many congratulations for baby girl.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
यस हमने देखा था कि बाहुबली 2 चैप्टर्स में बने हुए हैं तो फर्स्ट चैप्टर जब खत्म होता है तो सभी के दिमाग में ये सवाल आता है कि कटप्पा ने बाहुबली को क्यों मारा उसी तरह चैप्टर 1 में भी क्या ऐसा ही कुछ होगा जो दूसरी फिल्म की तरफ हमें ले जाएगा
Are you killing someone at the end of the first chapter?
नो ऐसे उस वजह से फिल्म चली वो नहीं कह सकते एंड इवन आई डोंट थिंक डायरेक्टर वुड हैव डिपेंडेड ऑन दैट वन पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट अगर फिल्म अच्छी है तो चलेगी और लास्ट में ऑफ कोर्स यस वी हैव टू हैव समथिंग व्हिच विल गेट द ऑडियंस फॉर द सेकंड पार्ट वैसे है हर सीरीज पे सीरियल में भी होता है नेक्स्ट एपिसोड देखने के लिए वैसा ही कुछ करना पड़ता है ऑडियंस को सो in this film also there is something like that but I cannot compare it to Kattappa because there is no Kattappa in our film.
ओके
One question. Since we're talking of the chapter, right, the first chapter, is there a question on how much time should pass after the first chapter that second chapter should release? Like, is there ever time like that? Okay, we have to release it.
No, see, nothing goes according to the plan in cinema. Even our first part has taken much more time than what we expected. So I don't know. It all depends on my director who is missing today. He is a perfectionist. He's a wonderful director. It's all his work. He's missing today. In Bombay, it's me who is coming and talking about on behalf of him. But I think he's the man who has created this, Mr. Prashant Mir. He takes its own time. He takes his own sweet time. Even today he was supposed to come, but he's still working on the film. He says, "From the it's your this thing. Please you take care of that responsibility. I'll work. I'll make it better." So I cannot tell you that how much time will take, but we want to come very soon because everything is ready. The script is ready. We just have to go there, shoot, and come and release.
Hi,
I'm-
Farhan.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
sorry,
Zia.
ma'am. He was in the
हाँ.
middle of asking a question.
फरहान सर एक इंटरव्यू में यश ने कहा था कि उन्होंने कहा था कि ये किसी हिंदी फिल्म में काम करना चाहते हैं और तो इसी पर मैं आपसे सवाल करना चाहता हूँ कि वुड यू लाइक टू डायरेक्ट अ मूवी विद यश इन फ्यूचर
Okay, now we've gone one step further. First, I was asked, would you like to direct a movie? Yeah, whatever little you know of me, I mean, of course, he's a very, very talented
KGF is an
actor.
audition.
Wow. He's, from what I've seen of his work, he's a very, very talented, very gifted actor. He's got great presence on screen. That was one of the first things I told him after I saw the film. So absolutely. I mean, the thing is that when you write something and when casting kind of almost creates itself for the lead characters when you're writing something. So if something does come along, he's working on his Hindi already. So everything is coming together well. But yes, absolutely. I mean, if there is an opportunity, there's no reason why not to do it.
We are taking Farhan sir to Kannada.
Hi Ritesh and Farhan. Runa from Web Dunia. आप दोनों से एक बात मैं जानना चाहती हूँ जब भी आपकी फिल्म्स बनती है अलग अलग लैंग्वेजेस में तो क्या दिक्कत होती है और आपको क्या चीज़ का ध्यान रखना पड़ता है और क्या चीज़ आसान हो जाती है आपके लिए
Are you recording yourself asking us this question? Oh,
Yes, that's my way. So आप दोनों में से जो दोनों का ही जवाब चाहिए था मुझे।
Sorry, your question is that what is the difficulty or what is
जी
makes it
जवाब
Language.
in language?
Yeah.
I think, like I said earlier, I don't think language is a barrier anymore. We've, I think, gone beyond that. As long as the story is engaging, it's an audio-visual medium. On any level, if you emotionally connect and there is some connect to the story, you'll get it. I mean, I don't know if you've tried. I tried actually watching the first few minutes of this film the first time जब अनिल लेके आया था. There was no subtitle and there wasn't even a dub in Hindi, and I could understand the story of it. So I think that was something which I understood, that in the 7 minutes I saw, if I could relate and get the world and understand and have some connect with it, it obviously held me. And I think that itself is a big strength, that if the movie can, engage you and can get your attention and you can feel it even without knowing the language, I think it makes it easier. And I think again, when marketing it or positioning it to an audience, even here, I think of late we've seen films which have been dubbed, they've done extremely well. But I think again on that level, as long as the film connects with you, you identify with it, you relate with it, I don't think there is an obstacle there beyond that.
I'm actually completely in agreement with what he said. I'll probably just end up repeating his words.
Yash, you're on the first row, on your towards your right, left one. KGF. This title might be a little difficult to come up with. Actually, I feel it like that. I don't know how easy or difficult it was, because initials खाली है. उसके बारे में कुछ जानना चाहेंगे.
No, it is Kolar Gold
Yeah,
Fields.
I know.
So it's known as KGF there, and it is a very famous gold mine in our country. So ज़्यादातर लोग को पता ही होगा. If not, then we'll educate them that there is a gold mine in Karnataka, which is called KGF. That was our intention, and the story revolves around the gold mine. So we thought that is a perfect title for our film.
I think you can speak quite good Hindi. In fact, like you can always try on the platform.
Sorry?
आप हिंदी अच्छी बोलते हो. हिंदी में ही बोलो. I think.
See, the problem is it's अच्छी बोलते हो या अच्छी बोलती है. Those things confuse me. So फिर भी I can talk. That's the only thing. Sometimes I address girls like that's the confusing part, because language sometimes it can, if it goes wrong, कुछ भी हो सकता है यार. डर है. Especially talking to girls.
आप खुश हुए इनके जवाब से?
Yeah.
सुपर.
Hi, Yash.
Next time we meet him, I think.
एक सेकंड, एक सवाल इधर से आ रहा है. यस मैम.
Hi, Nikita here from Zoom. Actually, my question is to Farhan and Ritesh. You're obviously clashing with your Zero as well with Shah Rukh. So, when it comes to screen presence, Zero has already, talked to a lot of distributors and with, uh, say, multiplexes as well, to gather the screen space. How are you going to fight it? Because obviously Zero is quite a big fan, is a friend of yours as well. To gather that screen space and to make sure that you get the amount of presence to match up to a film as big as Zero. What's your plan as to that?
And that's the kind of question I flunked in school.
Okay. So I think first of all, I think ये सवाल काफी time पहले भी many times films have released together. I don't think it's a clash or a fight, or anything. There's enough space. This is in terms of Zero is for us the reason to go with this date was purely coming in from Vijay, Yash, Prashant when they came and met us. I think it's a very important date for them for the South, and they're releasing the film not only in Kannada and in total four South Indian languages total. So it was the most apt. We couldn't have delayed it over here. And I don't think we are aiming to go as wide in the North Indian market as what I'm sure Zero will go with. So it's not going to be any clash. And in fact, the screens can be shared. There is enough screen space. We've seen two Hindi movies released on the same day, and both do very well. And it's a festive season in terms of the entire Christmas, New Year's time. There's enough space for films. So I think both will happen, and we're not aiming to go that wide as Zero. So that's not the intention to go in the Hindi belt as.
How much screens you're getting?
We haven't decided that. Anil is missing. That is why I wanted him here to answer these relevant questions. I don't think we've thought about it right now, but definitely not as wide as 2.0.
Hi, Yash. This is Amit here from Cine Speaks. Here. Okay. Hi. I have heard that you have started a foundation with your wife called Yasho Marga Foundation. Can you just throw some light on it?
That's something I don't know. It just started. One day I was watching a few news about drought. There was a drought situation in our state. That's when I decided if I can do something. Then I distributed water to 250 villages for over one and a half month through tankers, and then I've regenerated a 100-acre lake. That's something which I've done. It is not like a foundation which is completely working, but whenever I feel if I could do something or if I can help somebody, I do it through that foundation.
So this is your chapter 1 for this foundation.
Yeah, that's true. I have
Hi, Shri
much
Nidhi.
more plans.
Thank
Nidhi,
you.
hi. Rahul here from the Filmy Charcha. मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है कि केजीएफ आपकी डेब्यू मूवी है, ये क्या प्रोसेस था, आपकी एंट्री कैसी हुई केजीएफ में? ऑडिशन देने पड़े या क्या प्रोसेस था? प्रोसेस बताइए।
जी तो मैं 2016 में मिस इंडिया में पार्टिसिपेट मैंने किया था और उसमें मैं फर्स्ट रनर अप आई। तो जब वो ख़त्म हो गया तो शायद सारे पेपर्स में मेरे पिक्चर आए हुए थे और केजीएफ टीम से लकीली उन लोगों ने मेरा पिक्चर देखा एंड दे अरेंज्ड फॉर अ मीटिंग और मैं मीटिंग में चली गई और बाय गॉड्स ग्रेस सब अच्छा से वर्क हुआ एंड that's the way I got into this project. So they saw my pictures and then we had a meeting and उसके बाद उनको अच्छी लगी मैं फिर हो गया अब मैं यहाँ पे हूँ.
They may have auditioned you, no? Hello, this side. They may have auditioned you.
So yeah,
How many auditioned and in which audition you cleared? And what was that one thing the director may have liked?
तो ये हुआ कि सिर्फ एक मीटिंग में मुझे they called me for a meeting and there was just one meeting.
No audition.
So we met and they gave me one line or two lines to tell. तो मुझे लगता है बहुत बेकार किया था मैंने, तो मुझे लगा कि ये कॉल वापस नहीं आने वाला है, तो मैंने वो हो गया and then I went back to normal routine and I think a few weeks later I got a call that you are on board. So
Okay, how
Ma'am, I'm very fascinated by your emphasis on details.
gold से कितना मोह है आपको?
थोड़ा भी नहीं, देखो मैंने गोल्ड कुछ पहना ही नहीं है अभी.
Okay, we're going to take two more questions. So, okay, we have three hands raised. So, yes, Amarpreet, you could ask a question.
Thank you for introducing Miss Rain. Hi, this is Amarpreet from Viral Bollywood. Yash, congratulations, and to all the makers, it's a brilliant trailer, and I'm very sure this is going to be a blockbuster.
Thank you.
Yash, can you throw some light on your character? Is it inspired? Is it a fictional character first of all?
Yes, it is fictional. It is a very unique character. He has a purpose in life. He is a very ambitious guy, very strong-headed and very aggressive, who would have gone through a lot of hardship in his childhood. So he has a promise to keep up. So that's what we showed in this trailer, where his mother asked him to be a rich person, the most powerful person in the world. So he's trying to be a very powerful person in the world, and for that he needs to go to the most powerful place, and which is KGF at that point of time.
So was there an inspiration behind this character? कि किसी से आपने inspiration ली हो? थोड़ा थोड़ा हमें झलक भी मिल रही है जो एंग्री यंग मैन का कैरेक्टर देखते थे हम 70s 80s में अमिताभ सर का. So कहीं कौन आपको ऐसा इंस्पायर करता है? Maybe your favorite actor.
नहीं, सबसे ले लेता हूँ मैं कुछ अच्छी चीज. If I see some actor performing well, if I like something, I'll definitely adapt it, because it is not like they say you have to learn with your experience and with your mistake, but I feel you have to learn with others' mistake, and that's when you can learn more. So uh, truly we are inspired by a lot of 70s 80s Hindi films, of course Amit Ji's films and Salim Javed Saab's a lot of films we love. That influence there, but it is partially it is influence. But later I think अरे हो जाता है यार, एक्टर होने से कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे बॉडी लैंग्वेज और
सबसे सीख लो कुछ ना कुछ.
सबसे सीखते हैं और अपना कुछ over a period of time you will also realize that this is what people will like, and you will perform like that.
Thank you so much, sir.
The lady sitting, yes, ma'am.
Hi Farhan, this is a question to you. I wanted to know, there was a movie called Kala Patthar, which was on coal mines. So I think this movie will remind us of that. How much you see some inspiration from there? Because we'll be reminded.
Right.
Because it's something
No,
of
ma'am,
coal
the
mines.
stories are completely different. I mean, that film was about, it was actually that film,
Yeah.
and if I remember clearly, there was,
You star cast.
yeah, no, not only that, I mean, it was inspired from a true incident where there was a tragedy that had struck in a coal mine, and that had inspired Yash Ji and Salim Uncle and my father to write that script. So that really was, it was a rescue film. Of course, there were emotional threads and all that, but it wasn't the kind of film that this movie is. They're very, very different. So I don't think there's anything that's going to remind you really of that movie through this.
Farhan,
And the last question coming from this lady. Yes.
obviously the trailer looks great, but unfortunately, I will have to digress a little bit. Your co-star from your next film, The Sky is Pink, Priyanka, has just got married recently, and the pictures look lovely. We all from the media love her, love you, all of you. We want to also know what is the plan for a reception, because we've not got to know anything. Are
You're
you
asking me?
invited?
Wow.
Yes, we want to know from you.
This is like अब मौका मिल गया है
Yeah,
फरहान.
you know,
फरहान is here.
Wedding planner is still not on my resume. So
Have you got
I
a
will know when
wedding
you know.
invite?
Ma'am, when you know, I will also know at the same time. Trust me.
You were just waiting, right?
Yeah, I want to know
Last
when it's
question,
happening
and
or not,
I
so you
will
have to
put
tell
this
me.
in. All right.
Hi,
Yash, I have a question for you.
Yeah, please.
If this film becomes commercially very successful, so do we get to see you in Hindi films after that?
This is a Hindi film. See, that's what I was trying to tell, in previous interviews as well. It is not like a Bollywood film or a Sandalwood film or coming from Chennai or anywhere. It is just an Indian film. Language is not a barrier. See, I would want to tell a story in which you understand. So that's why I choose Hindi. And this dubbing is not like a regular dubbing film where we just let it out and they dub it on their own. We have taken a lot of caution. We have worked on the lines. In fact, it has taken more work than the original thing. So this is something I feel I'm in indie industry already. So if I make a film which I feel has a universal appeal and even Indie audience will love to watch it, definitely I'll do it. Otherwise, it's not like I want to enter Bollywood or something because I'm happy with whatever people have given me. At the same time, this is happening because I need a wider audience. I want to reach my work to wider audience. That's Hindi language is one language which has got a lot of base, so that is the only reason. So let's see if something up comes up where they can utilize my market, my existing market also. Then yeah, I might.
Okay, I'm going to end this with one question to Ritesh. Last question. Ritesh, we have spoken about languages and cultures. There was a time when the same story, like if I have to cite an example, Mani Ratnam sir would make a film in Tamil and then it would be completely adapted with a different cast and made in Hindi. Recently, that has completely changed, of course, with films like The Ghazi Attack, which is one of my favorite films that has come from the South. Do you think that that formula is now over where you have to adapt a film with a different cast? Now you can just take the original film, dub it in Hindi, and play it out for the market, not worrying about the kind of actors who are working in it, but the story has to be good.
No, I think both will continue to coexist. It can't
Okay.
be that you'll. There are films which will make an interesting adaptation because you'll take the story and the core
DNA
of it and then change around the screenplay and adapt it differently. And I think that will happen. Or you'll also see more and more films which I don't think a film like this, which is literally a visual treat. It is a large screen entertainment which you come in and watch and experience. It's more like yesterday I was talking to Yash that this actually for me it becomes like an event film. Now for these kind of films, I think it lends itself very naturally and it is seems possible to be dubbed. And there are some films which you feel okay, you can go beyond that, and probably it is better to adapt. So I think it will all depend on each film, each script you come across.
Yash, last question.
Oh, man.
Bollywood gives you a wider, global reach. So undeniably, if you give bestowed upon a chance to work in Hindi films, which director would you choose to work with to begin with?
These are slam book questions.
Slam
Yeah,
book.
many. I love
Wanted it.
Rajkumar Hirani sir's work, Farhan sir's work, Anurag Kashyap's work. There are plenty of them. It all depends on the script, ma'am.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for all the questions. And now I would request Ritesh, Vijay sir, Srinidhi, Yash, and Farhan if they could step in front of this beautiful prop for photographs with the media. We'll do a group first with